everybody. This is Mike at Absorb Self-Reliance. Hope everybody's having a great holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll see you again on another video coming up next year. We'll probably get out this year. But today's topic that I'd like to talk about, knife making. I've been doing it for about 3.5 years. It is a hobby. I am not a professional knife maker. I do not claim to be one. I make mistakes. I don't even know where the bucket went, but I have a bucket full of broken knives. Anybody tells you they've not had one break yet, it's just because they've not tested it hard enough. I don't test mine to break. I don't want it to break. I put 8 to 10 hours worth of work in it, and I make mistakes and they will break. Have I had one break lately? No. I've learned something. Sawmill blades are awesome, but they have a higher carbon content in it, and that means that they need more tedious structure to get those to work. When I buy stock steel, I had no problems with it. Razor sharp, cut, hold a decent edge from what I'm told. Unfortunately, I do not even have one. But what I wanted to tell you was, you don't have to have a lot of money to get into knife making. You don't have to be super great when you get started in knife making. What you need is the desire. And if you have the desire, go do it. Simple as that. I'll give you some inspiration right here. Inspiration, number one. My first knife that I ever made. Laugh, go ahead, get it out of your system. That's right. It's made out of one of those little things that hold the fence together when you join two chain link fence. I had zero knowledge other than I need a shape. I done this whole thing by building a fire, sticking it in the fire, and this son of a gun heated up real quick, and she was yellow glowing, and I doused it right off into some nice, I'm not even sure, I think it was water is what I doused it in. I had seen some shows. Second knife, about 3 weeks later, not much better, but it has a different understanding. Scales, drilled hole, slid it in with a hammer and filled it up with wood filler. Will it cut? Well, yes. Is it the best cutting instrument in the world? No. Will it get you by? Yes. So with that being said, take the inspiration that you have and the desire, go out and get started. If that's something that you're interested in, it is a great hobby. It is something that will turn into a great passion if you really get into it. You can get started very simple. You don't have to have a lot of high dollar machinery. You can get Harbor Freight 1x30, 54 bucks is what it is now. Take 25% off of that when you catch them out there, and I think it comes up to about $41 or $38.39 is what my first one was. My first one lasted 3.5 years and made about 100 knives plus on that side of it. Sawmill blades, old saw blades, files, all kinds of stuff. It lasted, it worked. There's some mods out there online. I'll be doing another new one. Mine lasted 3.5 years. Actually 3 years, 7 months and some days is what they told me. And I thought maybe I was still in the 2 year and I could get the free replacement. But I did get another one for $9.99. Gave them my old one that broke. The only thing that broke was the tensioner. So that's just for a belt sander. The much better ones are out there. And I'll show you the difference in better machinery versus some of the cheaper. If you're wanting to make $800 knives or precision cut 100% knives, you're not going to, well, I know I won't say that because someone can do that. I can't, but someone can. They can make a precision knife with it, with the cheaper material and the cheaper stuff. So hold tight. Let me show you what a school shop 2x72 with a plasma cutter, with a milling, everything, what you can do whenever someone teaches you later on. Now, here are 3 that I'm currently working on in my home, in my shop, for people that have asked for them. This is a Harbor Freight. This just came out of the oven for tempering. Here's another Harbor Freight. Cheap tools. When I say cheap, but dependable. Well, somewhat dependable. Now, those are all good quality knives for what they are. Now, when you go and start getting into the higher end stuff, and you've put the 3.5 years in, and you've learned a lot of stuff, and you've read a lot of stuff, and then you learn not to listen to a lot of stuff, you have to try and error, or trial and error is what you have to do, because unless you have the $2,000 oven or the higher end stuff, you're not going to get consistent temperature all the time. You have to learn to play, and you have to learn to get that. You hear it. It comes with time. Here is one that is made with a 2x72. Okay, now you've seen those. It was made with a Harbor Freight. Nothing wrong with those. They're good quality knives. They're going to last. They're going to be good. Now here is one that is done in a school shop. I did this one here about a week ago. I'm ready to put my scales on. She has already been hardened. I've done polished it back down using 14, I think. The buffing wheel was about this wide. Oh, it's just unbelievable at the amount. But you can, it's got the right. I had someone there that doesn't make knives but knows metal, and they've helped me guide through it. So that is the difference. This, I have less amount of time in doing this, but when you think about it, I have 3.5 years now, which is not 25 or 40 years or 50 years that these guys have been doing this here. There's some top knife makers out there. They do it for a living. It's their only passion. It's what they wish to do. It's how they wish to do it. That's not what I wish to do, and I don't think a lot of you are wishing to do that as well. I think a lot of you are just wanting to get out there. So I won't drag this video into a lot, but what I will tell you is a couple of little simple things. Number one, get the best equipment that you can afford. If all you can afford is one file, do it with a file. If all you can afford is Harbor Freight, get the Harbor Freight. If you can afford the $1,500 or the $2,000 2x72 grinder, the plasma cutters, the milling, get those. For every dollar you spend extra on good quality equipment, your skills will advance quicker and your product will advance quicker. You're gonna need to put the time in. Go watch videos, go read, listen to all of it, and figure out what works best for you. It's not always going to be one way. It's not always going to be that way. It's what works best for you, because where my temperature here can be 15 degrees one day and it can be 63 the next day, that affects the metal. You have to learn that. I have a bucket full of broken knives. Anyone that says they have never had a knife break, it's just not happened yet. So remember that. It's just not happened yet, because it's going to happen. Something one day is going to go wrong. So don't get discouraged. Continue to do it. If you want to be a professional knife maker, go to someone that is a professional and get them to teach you, or learn it, or put a lot of years in it. If you want to be a hobby person that wants to make your own knife, or make a knife for a friend as I have, or make some cool little things with them, get started. That's the only thing I can tell you about all of it. I'll answer any questions that I know, and somebody else can answer it different than I do. It may be right, it may be wrong, I may be right, and I may be wrong. You're going to have to try it. So, that's the best that I can give you on it. I'll answer any question. I always try to answer every comment that anyone leaves me. Of course, I have a low number views and stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. You know, I'm not into that big, huge category, but that's the best thing. I heard William Collins on a video I watched last year, and I watched it again this year because it said I hadn't watched it, but it was good. You can't do that. Go check it out. I might put a link down there to the bottom of it. Hope he doesn't get mad about it or anything. But that's the thing is, he quoted something he had heard one time before, and it was very good. I enjoyed it. Don't tell somebody they can't do it while they're sitting there in front of you doing it. So don't let anyone tell you can't do it that way. Just do it. They may be telling you that it's going to hurt in the end, but you know what? If that's the way you learn to do it, that's I can't. People do stuff the wrong way all the time and get the same results. So I mean that's the best I can tell anyone. So I'm not going to drag this video out any longer. Leave your comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Send me a PM. Those things are hard for me to find because they don't pop up in my window anymore. So I just go periodically back. So it may take 2 or 3 days before I get back with you on it. So Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And I'll see you in 2017, if Lord willing.